Can nobody be cute in 94-degree weather for this thumbnail? I am trying, people, trying to get this thumbnail going. Ooh, 94, 94. Don't let it fool you. It is hot. I'm struggling. Let's jump into it. Welcome to the channel, people. Today we're trying 3 5 Below craft kits, starting with this foil one first. And my first impression of this was, I'm not doing this. Especially once I got this pen out after checking these directions and realized there's no batteries in here. Where's the batteries? Where are they at? So I had to go fetch some batteries. And this is where I had a total brain fart. Like, they were not going in. Even when I stopped to check and read and, you know, realize that I'm completely putting them in backwards, which I don't realize for a minute from now. Oddly enough, this sucker got hot with the batteries being in backwards. Couldn't wrap my head around it once I figured it all out. But to start out, I'm over here like, why is it not getting hot? Press down and draw with pen on top of the foil. Vary the pressure and surface hardness to change the width. Gently lift. But what do you do? Oh, it's getting hot. Oh, it's getting hot. Here it says, do not touch pen tip when getting hot. But this is hot. This does not. Oh, I'm gonna. Oh. Okay. All right, let's try this again. While that heated up, I felt like, let's just empty this packet out, see what we have. And these foil pieces are gorgeous. Very thin. Love them very much. And they only really gave me these envelopes to kind of test it on some, you know, I had to go and figure something else out. There was no stencil in there for me to use. I guess they just wanted me to freehand whatever. So I grabbed this Dollar General stencil, which for whatever reason, I always got to pluck the little extra plastic pieces out because somebody working at Dollar General forgets to do that for me. It's not hot at all. It's not hot at all. Why? Why isn't it hot at all? Okay, so it says press and hold button on your pen to turn it on. Do not stop pressing on the button as you use it. Well, this is awkward. Is it getting warm? It's still not getting warm. Oh, come on. Do not try this at home, people. Do not. This is why you're watching me, so you don't do this. This is why you're watching me. And off camera, this was the moment I realized that the batteries were in backwards. So I quickly take them out and turn them around, put the lid back on, and it should come as no surprise to you that this sucker still did not get hot. So the bottom of the pen was getting hot the entire time, but never the top. People, I think the kit is a dud. Even after I switched the batteries, it's just not. Like, it's not getting hot at all. Says the pen is supposed to get hot. It's just, it's not. I don't know. I've been holding this for at least 2 minutes. I don't know. Oh, I'm so disappointed. And here comes my never give up attitude, people. Oh my gosh. Realizing that little rubber tip is easy to bend, I brought in this little wooden dowel and started using it to scrape in the little pieces here because I thought maybe this will work even without it being heated up. And it did! Oh, it actually worked. Look at that. Huh, I'm impressed. So of course I had to go get a piece of wood. I'm like, we're gonna have to test this out for real. And nope, that still did not get hot. So as far as I'm concerned, the pen in my kit didn't work. However, the foil pieces do work. And since I was able to rub them off on a piece of paper, I thought, can we rub them off on a piece of wood? So I picked another stencil style and I chose to use the same exact piece of foil and just rub them on this piece of wood. Only this time I'm using the clay scraper scraping tool because the surface is a little bit harder to get that foil down on the piece of wood. Then I decided to just try the end of a paintbrush to see if I could get it to transfer as well, and this actually did not work, so I went right back to the clay scraping tool. This was not hard enough, and to my surprise, this turned out absolutely stunning. Oh, look at that. I like it. I like that. That's really pretty. So I added another piece and then started taking my finger to see if it was coming off easily. And it did come off the more I rubbed it. But I feel like if I would just put a sealer over top of this, it would be completely fine. And maybe even if I scraped it down further. At the end of the day, the kit as a whole with the pen not really working for me, even once I put the batteries in correctly, was a letdown. But I really like the foil. Not too impressed with this kit, people. I mean, try something different? Yeah. Let's jump to the next one. This was the kit I was most excited about, and I also was extremely impressed with the contents of the kit because I felt like there was just an abundant amount of things in here for me to play with. And honestly, when you're spending any amount of money on something like this, you want to have a variety of things for you to be able to use and create and try different things. So I felt like what I paid for this and the value of all the things that they put in the kit was absolutely worth my $5 and change. The directions on this kit talk about mixing your colors with the guild paste and creating a texture on your canvases. Let that dry, and then once it's dry, you're able to come back with the foil, basically put some glue on there, and then create like raised appearances. So right here, I'm just kind of popping holes in the top of everything, and then I'm just going to mix up the colors to kind of get that base going so I can create my textured effect on my canvas. This stuff was really easy to use, people. I gotta be honest, I was impressed with the application process. It was not really squeezing under these little stencils, little cardboard stencils that they gave me. And I just patted it throughout the whole thing. If you're not familiar with my DIY content, you're just coming to me, welcome. I do actually do a lot of texturing. I am a decorative artist and content creator, all the things. So this, I was really hopeful for that this was supposed to create a textured look. So I was really plopping everywhere. And people, I'm trying to give this a real go. So I'm decorating the whole canvas. I'm like, we're going to create a nice little art masterpiece that I can hold on to and be like, look how awesome this kit is. Unfortunately, sometimes things don't work out the way you hope and you plan, no matter how much of a go you give it. So here we go. I made sure to use this paste just by itself as well, so it wasn't mixed with the black. I wanted to make sure that it on its own would stand up without having to worry about it being mixed with any of the colors. Even though some of the black was still mixed in the paintbrush because I was too lazy to clean it. Listen, people, doing my best here. Sometimes I'm a little lazy, and that's okay. Once the canvas was completely dry, I then opened up this glue and I was like, nothing's coming out. Ah! Figures. There's like an extra sealer thing popped down in there you gotta peel out. It's like a little plastic piece. You can't even see it. It's like invisible, okay? It's invisible. So just to make sure that I had like some different test areas or things with the glue, I used this glue on an empty piece of the canvas with another stencil piece just so I could put the foil on top of that without having any of the texture, anything on it, or paint texture, you know, all the things. Please do not mind my my fabulous method of applying this here. I'm just kind of rubbing the paintbrush and the glue that is now on our little set of directions. Whatever works. Next, we're gonna just take our little gold foil, which is slightly thinner than the foil from the first kit, and it's easily rippable. I'm just tapping it all down on the spots that I have the glue, and I could tell that they were still wet. You know, they're glossy when you look down at the little canvas piece. So in those spots, I just purposefully placed the foil and just patted it down and waited for it to dry. It only took about 15 to 20 minutes. It was not a tediously annoying long wait time for the drying. Next, it says once it's dry, you're going to want to bring in the foil brush. Well, I'm calling it a foil brush. It's very loose. It's very scraggly. It reminds me of scraggly dog hair. But you're going to just take this and kind of just move it all around. And the idea is that the gold foil just kind of goes away, except for where you have it stuck on here. Now, to my surprise, the texture did not stay extremely raised. So that was my first concern about this. There were some little lumps and bumps in the canvas, but nothing too dominant to make me feel like this was going to stick over raised parts versus not raised parts. And even after letting it dry, the more I just kind of moved the paintbrush over the sections, the more the gold stuff just peeled almost entirely off every little spot I had it glued to. I was extremely disappointed about it. I was like, maybe I didn't apply enough glue. So this little corner right here that I'm doing, I came back in and added a ton of glue in this spot, and I just kind of poured it on the corner basically, and I was like, let's see if we can get it to stick in this corner. And as you can see, it's sticking, but there's still some pulling away from where the glue area was. So I'm not sure how much glue I might need to use from that, or, you know, maybe just try another sealer altogether, which is exactly what I decided to do. So I brought in the Dixie Belle paint sealer, and I know you guys are like, Brandi, why not the Mod Podge? I had to go hardcore on this. I felt like I'd done wasted an hour of my life here with that sealer, so I'm like, we need to bust out the furniture sealer for real. We need to skip all the BS. Well, the glue, their glue, you know that. You guys know what I'm saying. So I put a nice heavy little layer of this clear coat right here on this little leaf corner, and I let it dry. I decided to pull the excess off before I started using the brush, so this way there wasn't like a whole bunch around it. And surprisingly, this actually even started peeling off the texture that was dried on the canvas. I gotta be honest, I was in love with the amount of things that came in this kit, but overall my entire experience with it was a little bit of a letdown once I got the glue and everything attached onto here with the gold foil. So what did y'all think of the results for this gilded art set? Let me know in the comments below. People, for our last kit, we're going to be trying this marble pour kit. Now, I have never marble poured at all, ever, and I do love paint. So I was super excited to pick this up and give this a go. This kit comes with 2 pre-painted canvases, 3 premium paints, 1 metallic premium paint, 1 silicone oil, 1 texturizing acrylic paint, 1 pair of plastic gloves, 2 mixing sticks, 1 plastic palette knife, and the instructions. So to start out, it says to take this texture stuff and use your little scraper and create little raised areas on your canvas. And I figured I will just kind of go along with what they have here decorated on the canvas instead of creating my own. I felt like it might just help me go in the process of getting this done the best results possible for you. So I put little dollops in the circles, and then I just took the little spatula and I was just spreading it around, like plop, 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 you know, spreading it around. And then I let this dry. Here's where things start to go sideways. It recommends taking the stuff and putting it in cups or whatever. And honestly, I like this paint and the idea of how they have this. So you can cut the tip. There's a little thing for you to preserve your paint. I was super happy and impressed with the containers. And honestly, everything that came in the kit was well worth the money. But if I'm being real, there was not enough paint. Now, it did recommend to add a little bit of water. I didn't do that because I wanted this to be as authentic just from the kit as possible. And once I squeezed that purple in there, I realized that that's a bad idea because I didn't have enough and it was really thick. The white, I don't know what's wrong with this stuff, but it looked like old milk. It had bits. It had so many bits in it. I was like, oh gosh. It didn't matter how much I was shaking it. It just had so many things in it. I was like, well, maybe it's supposed to be like this. I don't know. We're going to take our liquid because this liquid is supposed to help, you know, separate things. And I thought, we'll add it to the white. Okay, we'll add it to the white. We'll mix it up. Things are going to be okay, right? I'm showing you the camera. I'm like, this does not look okay. But I carried on anyhow. I just had to go through the process. I thought maybe once I get it all on the canvas, it's all going to just work itself out. But it was not easily pouring. And this is the moment where I'm like, should I get water? I'm like, nope, we're just going to squirt it on here. We're just going to squirt it. We're not going to add water. Once we get it on here, we should be able to move it around because that's what the directions say, move your canvas around. So I'm like trying to add some color in here and hoping for the best. Last, I added our crusty bit white paint onto the top, and none of it started moving really when I started moving the canvas around like I recommended. So, oh goodness, I spent so many hours trying out these kits, and I was really hoping for better results. I was super happy with the amount of things that came in the last 2 kits, though. I definitely felt like it was worth the money. And could it be operator error? Of course it could be. However, I don't know what else I could have did for this kit really other than adding water and praying those bits fell out for it to work the way that the directions recommended it to work. Now you guys will have to let me know whether or not this video is worth your time viewing and if you think it's going to help you save money in the end. And that's going to be it for today, people. I hope y'all got some learning and entertainment out of the video. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see more review videos just like this one. And until next time, bye!